District 49 teacher has been reprimanded for violating district policy following a lesson plan centered around Martin Luther King Jr. and the civil rights movement. The district says fourth graders in the Art Explorer class at Bennett Ranch Elementary took part in a presentation that made direct connections with the Black Lives Matter movement. And News High's Mayo Davison has more on what kids heard, the district policy, and community feedback.
The civil rights movements and the art of protest lesson showcased artists working to inspire social change. Included were murals featuring George Floyd and Black Lives Matter. Since the lesson included material considered controversial and not approved by the district, the teacher was written up, but many expressing frustration over the situation.
As a parent, it was kind of like, wow, they got offended over that. Like, it's kind of getting nitpicky now. It's like, they just want to close the minds of everybody and make everything so narrow-minded.
Stacey Ayala is a local parent and teacher who understands the power art can have on creating change.
This teacher was just trying to do something outside of the box and make it interesting, and it's also like present time.
But others like Sabrina Steinbach say it was wrong for the teacher to present a lesson associating Martin Luther King Jr. with the Black Lives Matter movement.
Martin Luther King Jr. did not condone acts of violence. He did not condone walking up to white people and beating the crap out of them just for the color of their skin.
She says kids at that age are too young for those types of conversations.
Politics doesn't belong in school, especially if it's a young child.
According to district policy, materials that are likely to divide the community along racial, ethnic, or religious lines is considered controversial, and teachers must get approval beforehand.
I personally don't feel like it has anything to do with like policy at all. It's just more so of making like those parents satisfied and not wanting to like cause needed friction.
He's a D49 alumni and says he wasn't surprised with how the district handled the situation.
When I went, there wasn't like an emphasis on like Black history at all. They would actually like replace it a lot with like talking about like the Holocaust, which is like also bad.
Johnson says going forward, there needs to be more discussion of Black history, regardless of if it's controversial. He says if there needs to be meetings or protests to create real change, then so be it. Always watching out for you, Falcon. Mayo Davison, News 5.
Mayo, thank you. And we've just received word of a protest being planned outside the D49 board meeting next Thursday at 6 at night. It's by the Empowerment Solidarity Network to show support for the teacher and denounce systemic racism. Also, the district did release a full statement apologizing to parents for not following the policy in advance. You can read that full statement in the web version of this story, KOAA.com.